Y'all, did y'all hear or have you all been keeping up with the story about Brenay and Tim, a couple in North Carolina who decided that they was going to bamboozle, hoodwink their friends and start dating and eventually get married? And that the wife of Tim, Akira, decided that she was going to sue her for alienation of affection and won. Not only did she won $1.75 million, which is the third highest award that has been given to anyone in the state of North Carolina for this. Well, honey, this isn't over because Brenay decided that she was going to take herself downtown to the Tamron Hall Show. I don't know why she doesn't have a lawyer that is telling her to sit down and shut up, but she evidently is not getting wise counsel, and let's talk about it. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my consistent reviews. All the y'all who have been here through the long. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie televised. Sweet old. It's time for auntie televised. Oh, yeah. It's time for auntie televised.
Child, this is Brenay and Tim. I know y'all remember me telling y'all the story about this couple. The two of them took their butts down to the Tamron Hall Show to talk about their Brenay that was going on. Now, of course, you all know that they both live in North Carolina, who still has on the books an alienation of affection. Not only did Brenay lose her case in the alienation of affection, she also was charged with criminal conversation. As I said before, her verdict is the third highest amount to be paid in North Carolina's history. And after 6 days in court and 700 pieces of evidence, the jury reached their verdict in November of this year and awarded that money. Now, I know these people young, and sometimes, you're young and you're not ready. But sometimes you need to sit down and shut up. Now, I understand that this girl, according to the word downtown on the curb, makes $25,000 off of her TikTok channel. However, they said she spends $7,000 a month on food. Now, after she was awarded, Akira was awarded the money. Brenay took to social media and said the girl ain't gonna see none of it. Okay, Brenay, keep it up. Now, Tim is also being sued by Devon. Now, y'all help me downtown in the comment section in case I get this wrong. But Tim and Brenay's ex-husband are cousins. They're cousins. Now, downtown to the Tamron Hall Show, Brenay comes out and informs us that the two of them used to date. Now, a lot of us, like people like me who was looking at this, was like, oh, okay, thank you, G Debo. She said that's okay, and then she said facts, okay. G. Debo said that's correct. Thank you, y'all, because y'all know I be all over the place, right? I be all over the place. So he messing with his cousin's wife. Tim and Devon, I believe, have a case that's going to be coming up soon. So this is not over. Now, according to the word downtown on the curb, Tim ain't got no job. And this girl is on TikTok making a living by doing ad revenue that you get from your clicks and your views and sponsorships. So that money that she was making about to go in Akira's pocket. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people were against Brenay because of her attitude and because of the slick stuff that she was doing and all this old kind of stuff, right? A lot of people have been, or the majority of the comments that I have been seeing, let me put it like that. People don't like Brenay. And I must say that her personality, it take a little bit for you to get used to, right? But anyway, Tamara asked her, how do you feel? Right? This is in the interview that she did with this sour puss of a man. Y'all ain't heard nothing yet. Y'all about to hear some stuff. Cause we're gonna go ahead on and wrap this up in a cute little bow. So she's sitting on there and she says it's been a lot. She said that she ain't been getting a lot of love from off the tickety talkety. It been a whole lot of hate. Yeah, because don't nobody want to see that mess going on. Anyway, I digress. She said so Tamara said, yeah, honey, because I've been looking through the comments and people really, they don't really fuck with you like that. Okay. So she says, how does that make you feel? She said, honestly, she said, I have my days when I don't feel up to it. I have my days when I'm just sad and when I'm down. But then I have my days when I'm happy. She said, but most of the time I can say I try to be happy more than I'm not, but more days are more sad than anything. First of all, I don't think that the girl, here's my assessment. I'm going to throw my assessment in there. Y'all throw y'all's in there downtown in the comments. And if I peep it out, I'll pull it up on the screen. But here's the assessment. You didn't think that she stinked. Because why in the world would you know that there's a possibility of you having a judgment that big and you decide to represent yourself in a court of law? She sat there on Tamron Hall and talked about she came with the truth. Evidently, the truth that you had did not do anything to help your case because the truth that Akira had helped her case. You can't sit there in people's faces and blow smoke up their butts and think that people are going to believe that you had this locked this case, but you just did not get heard. Boo, you were the attorney. You represented yourself, pro se. And so now you're going to sit up there and talk about I had the truth, but the truth wasn't heard like Houseway. Houseway. You didn't think that you were going to lose. You thought that then now you're getting up there, okay? And okay, what you saying, boo boo? She assumed she was above the program that said relationship is not going to work. Deirdre said that was the dumbest part. Yolanda, what are we doing here? And now you go on a world's tour. You're going from place to place, dropping stuff. And what you don't realize is, Brenay and Tim, that Tim still got a court date. Tamron asked her flat out, do you think that this affair and this marriage, since y'all married now, and this man that's sitting beside you, let me bring this man back up, was worth 1.75 million? She said no. Of course not. Of course not. But you thought long and wrong. You thought that you were slick enough to be able to beat the system when this girl sat there with a lawyer, and not only sat there with a lawyer, but sat there pregnant. As many of you all know, Akira, on the same day that they were on the Tamron Hall Show, came out and let everybody know she's pregnant. And not only is she pregnant, but they're pregnant with a baby girl. While Brenay is sitting down taking Geritol to get pregnant by Tim. I, Let me just let that sit with you. Brenay has been out there talking about how her husband has been making her take Geritol so she can get him babies. For many of you all who don't know about Geritol, it is a vitamin, okay, that women used to take. You know, back in the day, we used to take Geritol, right? Because, I mean, if you my age, you remember that was like one of the only women's vitamins that you could take. Let me see if I can pull up a little bit about Geritol. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me tell y'all a little bit about Geritol. Shall I? Yes, I shall. Geritol is a multivitamin and iron supplement originally marketed to help with iron deficiency, anemia, fatigue, and low energy. Okay? Geritol has been on the market since 1950. It became famous in the mid 20th century, promising to restore pep and energy. Over the decades, the formula and marketing changed, but the name stuck. The Geritol helps you get pregnant idea came much later, mainly through word of mouth, not by science. They said, does Geritol increase your chances of getting pregnant? Short answer, no, not directly. But as we all can see, let me go and bring her back up here. She's taking Geritol, but she eat everything that ain't nailed down. Everything that's not nailed down, she's eating it. She doesn't seem to have a healthy diet at all. It says that Geritol does not increase fertility, ovulation, or conception rates in healthy people. However, if some have iron deficiency or certain vitamin deficiencies, correcting those may help the body function normal. A healthier body can sometimes mean more regular cycles, while indirectly supports conception. What were the pregnancies rumors? That's where the pregnancy rumors started. Not what Geritol does not do. It does not stimulate ovulation. It does not balance hormones. It does not treat infertility. It does not work better than a standard prenatal vitamin. Period. Period. But she got her man, got her taking Geritol, the liquid kind, so I guess it can go to her bloodstream. She says her man sits there and tells her to drink it like anime because she wants to be pregnant. But guess what? Akira is. And I know that it is killing her because if you look at the videos and you look at the comment section about these people, she has always been in competition with this young lady. Even to the point where she will get with this man right here. What is going on with his beard being sparse like that? Cut it off. Find something else to do. If you look in her eyes, they are dead to the world. Regardless of how much she smiled and her little video that she did, letting us see her travel there, she is miserable with this man, in my opinion. The two of them said that they dated. Tim said that the two of them dated while they were in high school together, right? And that her mom told him that that they could not date until she turned 15. He said once she turned 15, the two of them dated for a year and then they broke up. But they always remained friends. Bullshit. Although the two of them ended up dating and marrying someone else, I think that there was always something there between the two of them. Whether or not they was sneaking around the corner or not, ain't none of my business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But the two of them, something, in my opinion, was absolutely going on downtown to Tim and Brenay. Brenay sits there and says that this man isn't worth it, but that the two of them are getting closer and closer. That's some bull. I give them a year. I give them 1 year to stay together because she's already indicating that she is sad most days. One thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot compete where you do not compare. And we are not to compare ourselves to each other because guess what? God made us uniquely different for a reason. Not one person has the same DNA. So why, if the master who created all of us wants us to be different, does she want to be so much like this girl, Akira? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And now she's sitting out there. Tamara asks her, let me ask you a question. You got to pay this 1.75 million. Okay. But how's your earnings now that this has happened? You know what Brenay said? People don't want to with me no more or anymore because they don't know whether or not they want to have someone like myself represent their brand. You got daggone right. Because people are concerned about who they attach themselves to. They're concerned about that. They don't want to be attached to somebody who is perceived to be a home wrecker. Don't nobody in their right mind want to be a bother with that. And so now you out there on TikTok, you may have 1 million subscribers, but are you kicking in 1 million? Are you kicking in the million? And then from our understanding, they have now done a writ on her. Let me look. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. 'Cause y'all know I like to get y'all the information. I like to get y'all the information. Hold on, y'all. This poor thing is just confused. Hold on. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I want to make sure I give y'all the right thing. So, so it looks like what is going on is that Brenay has filed an appeal of the decision, right? But Akira's lawyer has filed a separate civil enforcement petition that shows up in court documents online. And there is a motion for post judgment enforcement that was publicly reported by major news sites. Okay. The plaintiff's attorney, which is Akira, can request a writ of execution that allows the sheriff to seize and sell certain property of Brenay's to satisfy the judgment. They also can put in garnishments. Okay, y'all let me know downtown in the comment section whether or not this has been done, because for some reason I thought that it was done. However, ChatGPT is saying that this has not been verified, and I don't think that's true. I believe that this was indeed verified, but y'all let me know because y'all are closer to the story than I am. This girl, Tim, was asked whether or not how he felt about her having to pay this out of her own pocket. He couldn't even answer the monthly question. How you gonna have somebody that's look big and burly, don't look like he do nothing but ride up off of her cow jugs? I don't mean no harm, but her breasts are like down to her belly button. She really needs to get a reduction. So let me tell y'all what he says, okay? Hold on. Somebody told me the other day that it drives them crazy when I don't have everything together. Okay. He'll be done with her when the money runs out. Let me tell you something. He already probably running out on this girl. Because I always believe, like old school said, the same way you get him is the same way you lose him. How's she gonna be able to hold on to this man? But she's sitting out there telling Tamron Hall that she losing wages. She taking Geritol to try to have a baby because she wants to have a baby by him so bad. I don't know why. She got this man living with her. She's swearing that this is making them closer. When, of course, we all know that this is probably doing the very opposite. And Akira now is pregnant and don't want him no more. Now, do I think Akira should be pregnant? Mm-mm. Because I think it speaks a lot to Akira, too. Y'all don't mean no harm. Y'all may not like it, but I think it speaks a lot to her character, too. How much alien and affection did you lose when you was getting alien and when you was getting affection with this other man? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. One like she was lonely, one like she was by herself. I saw a TikTok where she said that she's going to keep her last name as what is it, Montage? She's not even going to get rid of the man's last name because she was a wife. Okay, and next. So, in my opinion, Akira ain't got no clean hands either. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all's is downtown in the chat. But she got some stuff with her too. And I know she may be hurt and maybe doing some stuff, out of being hurt or whatever. But dude, to me, is a rebound. I wouldn't want to. And the thing about it is, I don't know how big their town is, whether or not they live in a town where they just got one traffic light. But this dude that Akira is dating is somebody she knew. So they all just dating everybody. I'm sorry, what? They're all just out here dating one another, sleeping with one another, marrying one another, cheating on one another. I don't see her being an innocent bystander like people want her to be. I think that people have a tendency, right, to try to make everything cut and dry. Victim, villain. But everything ain't that cut and dry. And that ain't giving Renee no credit. That's just not giving Akira none either. Because girlfriend is with that man, then got pregnant, and she up in court. Half the people, I'm sure, that was going down to the courthouse didn't even realize she was pregnant. So of course she had to put some energy and effort into not showing, right? Y'all let me know down in the chat if your old auntie is wrong about it. But I don't remember anybody reporting that they saw Akira downtown at the courthouse and she was pregnant. I don't think nobody's hands is clean in this situation. I think Brenay's is dirtier. I think that her and Tim's hands are dirtier. Yes, I believe that. But I don't believe that Akira's hand ain't dirty too. Okay? Nobody's hands is ever dirty in stuff like this. You know why? Because everybody got feelings. Everybody's got emotions. Everybody has a tendency, no matter how sweet they are, to be back on some get back time. Now the girl was done wrong. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But her hands ain't clean. And the longer you live, the more you realize everybody got a little bit of dirt on their hand. Because when I saw that she was pregnant, I was like, why ain't none of the TikTokers report this? Now, after she done won the case, the belly is all the way out. Okay. The case just got won a couple of weeks ago, did it not? Okay. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, Bill Toe, I never said that the alienation of affection was not during the marriage. Yeah, I never said that. I said that it was, yeah. That's why she won 1.75 million. So what you asking me, but ask me another way because I don't understand how you ask it. But didn't this happen last year? Didn't what happened last year? The case? The judgment? That happened this year. This won't last year. So I don't know. You gotta ask me different, baby, because I'm not understanding what you asking. I give Brenay and this man until the end of his trial. I don't know why the two of them are rushing to try to have a baby. I don't understand why she wants to have a baby like that. I'm saying get your income together, find out get some kind of payment plan. From my understanding, she tried to be shady and send $2 down to the court for paying for restitution. $2. Who does that? Other than somebody that's trying to cause an issue and trying to win. The thing about it is, in the words of Nene Leakes, you're never going to win, Brenay, when you dirty. You could do every tour that you want to do, but them TikTok dollars, I'm sure is low. And then to go out on TikTok and want to do your regular content when everybody tear you down and all in your comments and stuff like that, don't help either. Okay, what you say, boo? Facts. It's true that no one was innocent and everyone has a lot to learn. Absolutely, Miss Truth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comment section. I'm going to be coming back in a few minutes, honey, because we're going to talk about this man that found that little girl downtown to the snow walking to school. Until then, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye.